theories of development and underdevelopment, and development to increase or linguistically meaning abundance or height. Grew money sense has increased and many, and the development of thing means to rise from its position to another position and grew develops and NMEA, development and nurturing of money and other, increased and many, and grew pigment in the hair or hand, grew blacker. And online development thing, the defend any increased, and online talk, radio and published, and a for the camels on Maha sense manha, and belonged body, the higher its position to another position. It has become the term, development, of the most common terminology in the fields of economics, sociology, education, culture and media, and intended to raise the level of the backward communities, and help them to get rid of what ails illiteracy and disease and poverty, and sanctified by the United Nations and its specialized agencies to take care of most of its development, and to support local and international efforts to improve economic and social conditions and cultural communities in underdeveloped, and move on to the best and highest levels, has provided several explanations for the causes of underdevelopment, such as the interpretation of geographic confirms its supporters their interpretation of the failure that a large number of developing countries located in the tropics and in tropical Africa, Asia and Latin America, while for the majority of the developed countries in temperate regions, confirms this view that the environment tropical lands and the degree of fertility, and the spread of epidemics, and heavy rainfall, and a kefka harmful hinders agricultural development, and the animals lean because of low nutritional value of pastures, if compared to livestock in the country, European and American. However, the natural conditions and geographical factors cannot be alone because of underdevelopment evidence that some developing countries located in temperate regions estates and other Mediterranean, and a monopoly on these areas some important crops, and how much of the state has been able to advance, in spite of the difficult geographical conditions. There is another theory asserts that underdevelopment is social reasons is the weakness of the productive forces and the deterioration of the scientific level, and the hoarding of gold, and attention to appearances false, such as high dowries and concerts lavish love of flaunt, has fragmented, cultured by foreign education which is different from the national education in the same country, divided education Nabran into two parts, one religious and the other secular. There are those who attribute the failure to sex and religion, but it proved that Japan, for example, which includes residents of the yellow race has achieved tremendous progress has appalled countries of the white race, as the record date for China, India and other civilizations, Sahara, and often brags Muftrum claiming that Islam is the cause of the failure states secured by. A bigotry reveals a deep hatred for hundreds of years. Islam is the one who dealt with the issues of life and religion, who identified economic and social relations specifically testifying to the advancement and progress, and put to work and the production of great value. If Muslims were retarded in some communities, it is not due to Islam, but on the contrary, it is due to the neglect of religion and non-adherence to the tolerant teachings constructive. A modern theory of the causes of underdevelopment due to colonialism. Countries colonial managed during the decades that development and progress occur at the expense of raw materials from countries that colonized, and control of foreign trade of the colonies, and make them a market for their products, and to deprive the people of the colonies from the imposition of progress, says the Dutch commander, Queen, who invaded Jakarta. Cannot any man in Europe to do massive what he wants, us does Mr. here with his men, who all have the private property of the master just like beasts in the land of Low the Netherlands. The Spaniards in Latin America as he has done in French North Africa. We have neglected the roads built by the national intentionally Spain because they want to divide and rule the colonies on the basis of the principle of colonial divide and conquer. That made the transportation and roads stretching from the interior to the coast, and from the coast to the motherland. It is the same method the French in North Africa, and the English method in Islamic countries. It was a traveler from Cairo to Algiers must first fly to Paris, was intended to break up the colonizer as always unity among the owners of the one faith, creating disputes on the border when he is gone.